So you got Kevin Holland against Alex Oliveira. Now, this is Kevin Holland's debut at welterweight, is it not? Yes. His last one was Kyle Daukaus. That was the accidental headbutt. This is an interesting move because I've always felt like Kevin Holland would do better if he took it more seriously. And I feel like sometimes he's like, he wants to win, but he also doesn't want to be seen to be struggling to lose.
Yeah.
Right? So like at the point when the fight starts to slip away from him, it then kind of becomes a bit like, oh, I'm just here to have a laugh and let me throw some kung fu skills out there. Like him moving to welterweight for me, it shows that he's trying to find a way to be better, right? Like in his fight against who was it? Derek Brunson, where he's talking to Khabib as the fight was going on. Like that for me just got annoying to watch because there are so many people that would want to be in that position trying to win that fight in the UFC, and he made himself look a bit silly.
Yeah.
Like because we know he's got good skills, we know he's got really interesting striking skills, very unpredictable. We know he's great on the floor as well. And he's coming down to a weight class against someone that's just a bit of a wild man himself. Like Alex Oliveira was the guy that welcomed, what's his name, into Shavkat Rakhmonov. Like they kind of use him to test the new guys in the division because they know, 22-11-1 with 2 no contests. He's had a lot of fights. He doesn't really care how the fight goes as long as he's having a damn good time. And I think Kevin Holland is gonna really be able to show people what he's fully capable of at welterweight. Like 6'3" compared to 5'11". Alex Oliveira used to be a lightweight. That's worth bearing in mind. 81-inch reach compared to 76. If Kevin Holland decides, right, for the next 2 years, I am focused entirely on this welterweight division and I am going to put everything into it, I've got him as a top 5 contender.
Yeah.
Genuinely think he's that dangerous. My only question is at what point does his mental state check out? Like, at what point does he go, I'm not going to finish this in the first round. I'll just kind of, I'll coast and I'll chat to the people outside the cage, and I don't want to see any more of that. I want him to take it real serious, and I want him to put it on his opponents because I think he's got the skills to.
I think it might be a little bit. Sometimes we don't want to fail because we think like we didn't. I don't know. It's this weird thing between working hard enough and not having the talent, and then I wasn't like born with it or whatever, like, or I didn't work hard, and that kind of becomes like an ebb and flow on people's mentality, especially when they're competing. You just kind of like when you have like that sort of excuse in your head, it's almost like a nicer pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Because you don't feel inadequate.
Yeah, because he's given up before he's beaten.
Yeah, so it's like, I didn't even try hard, or like, but whatever, but you're boring, or you're this or you're that, and that with his cut, I do think the thing is like he's used that to help build him up as a brand, if that makes sense. Like a lot of eyes are on him, and all those things have helped him in his career in the fact that like people really like when he fights or look up to seeing him fight. So he's already got that attention. So if he can just use that and the losses to kind of bolster with everything else and just spring up, he has just like a great opportunity. And also Alex is coming off like quite a few losses right now. Three straight losses. And
guillotine choke against Rakhmonov, Randy Brown with the one-arm rear naked choke, and then a decision against Nico Price. I think Kevin Holland's going to look really good in this. I think this is a fight that's set up for him to be introduced to the welterweight division. And I think that, Alex Oliveira is one of those interesting kind of wild cards that you can throw in because you know he's going to give someone a hard time if they let him. But I think as long as Holland comes in focused and he's on his game,
he has a lot of power as well.
Yeah.
Didn't he knock out like Karma Worthy or something?
I think he did. His striking skills generally are very unorthodox. It's difficult for people to read him.
Sorry, Buckley.
Yes,
that's the one I was talking about.
And he was using like back fists and ridge hands and stuff in that.
But like barely touched him, and he went back like nasty, as well as with Jacare.
Yeah.
He was like on the bottom, just touched him with the right hand, and went like Yeah,
Yeah.
he can generate a lot of power. And imagine like in this division where it's going to be harder to take him down and kind of grind him out because he's bigger.
Yeah, I mean, that shot he knocked out Jacare with, I mean, it's very rare that you see someone get knocked out from bottom position.
Yeah.
I'm going with Kevin Holland.
Yeah, I am as well.
I think this is a new beginning for his career, and I think as a welterweight, he's going to be a real problem.